Chapter 1. The Volunteer. You are 23 years old, and you are not getting paid. This is not a metaphor. You are a graduate assistant at a mid-level college program in a state you did not grow up in, and your compensation is a tuition waiver, a meal plan, and a parking spot that is so far from the facility that you could reasonably call it a different zip code. Your job title is Quality Control Coach, which is a title that sounds important and means you watch film. All of it. You watch film from 6 in the morning until the coaches arrive, and then you watch more film after the coaches leave, and somewhere in between, you cut clips and make binders and do whatever the position coaches need done without being asked twice. You fetch coffee, you paint the end zones on Thursday nights. One time, you washed the offensive coordinator's car because his regular guy canceled, and he mentioned it in the room, and you said you'd handle it before your brain finished processing what you were agreeing to. You do not complain. There are 40 other guys who would take this parking spot and this meal plan without a second thought. You know this because you were almost one of them 6 months ago, watching the job board at 2 a.m. from your parents' basement. You played college ball. Decent, not good enough to get paid to keep playing, but good enough to understand what good looks like. That gap is exactly wide enough to become a coach. Too much football in your blood to walk away, not enough to stay on the field. So you watch a film, you make the binders. You get there before anyone else and leave after everyone else, 6 days a week, for a salary of $0. And somehow, this is the part that's hard to explain. It is enough. For now, it is exactly enough. Chapter 2. The Assistant. 3 years later, someone pays you to do this. Not much, but money. Actual money that goes into an actual bank account, which, after 3 years of meal plans and parking spots, feels like a specific kind of dignity. You are a position coach now. Linebackers, wide receivers, defensive backs. Whatever the opening was, whatever door cracked open, and you were standing close enough to walk through. You coach your guys every day. You break down their film, fix their technique, sit with them in meeting rooms, and watch the same play 17 times until everyone sees what you see. This is the part nobody outside the building understands. The repetition. The same install. The same corrections. Day after day. Until it stops being something they think about and becomes something their bodies just do. You are not teaching football. You are building habits in other people's bodies. You are good at this. You know it the way you know things that don't need confirmation, quietly, from the inside. Your players get better. Some get drafted. One sends you a jersey from his first NFL game with a note that says what it says, and you keep it in a box in your closet because coaches don't talk about things like that. You move every 3 years. Different city, different program, different coordinator to impress. Your wife packs the boxes with the efficiency of someone who has done it before and will do it again. She does not complain. You married someone who understood what this was before she said yes, which is either the luckiest thing that ever happened to you, or the thing you'll feel most guilty about later, depending on the year. Chapter 3. The Coordinator. The first time you call a play in a game that actually matters, your hands are completely still. This surprises you. You spent years imagining this moment, and in every version of it, your hands were shaking. But they're not. Your voice on the headset is steady. The call goes in, the play works. Not because of you exactly, but because of the 10,000 hours of film and the binders and the meeting rooms and the version of you that washed someone's car a decade ago. You are a coordinator now. Every week, you build a game plan from scratch. You study the opponent for 30 hours before your players see a single clip. You are always preparing for the next game while the current one is still being played. Head coaches start calling, not offering jobs, just feeling you out. You know what the calls mean. You take them seriously without taking them too seriously, which takes years to develop and most people never quite get right. Your name appears in coaching searches. You try not to Google yourself. You mostly fail. Chapter 4. The Call. The owner calls you on a Tuesday in January. Not the GM. Not the head of football operations. The owner, which tells you everything you need to know about how serious this is before he says a single word about the job. You take it. Of course you take it. You have spent 20 years moving toward this specific phone call, and there was never a version of this story where you said, no. The press conference is strange. Cameras, microphones, a podium with the team's logo on it. Your family in the front row looking simultaneously proud and slightly terrified, which is the correct response to this situation. You say the right things. You have thought about what the right things are for a long time. Then, the real work starts. You have total control for the first time in your career, which turns out to feel less like freedom and more like exposure. Every decision lands on your desk. Personnel, scheme, culture. The 47 things that go wrong in any given week that nobody outside the building ever knows about. You are the last stop. There is no one above you in the building to absorb the consequences. The first season is hard. Most first seasons are hard. You go 7-10, which is not good enough but is not unsurvivable. And the owner tells you he believes in the process, and you believe him because you need to. The second season, you go 9-8. You make the playoffs. You lose in the first round. The third season, things start to fracture in ways that don't show up in the box score. Chapter 5. The Grind. The average NFL head coach lasts 3.3 years. You knew this statistic before you took the job. Everyone in coaching knows this statistic. You filed it away in the part of your brain where you keep things you acknowledge, but don't believe will apply to you, which is the same place everyone keeps that particular category of information. The quarterback situation becomes a problem. It is always, in some form, the quarterback situation. You drafted the wrong one, or the right one got hurt, or the right one is good, but not good enough. And good, but not good enough in the NFL is its own specific kind of quicksand. It looks stable until you're already in it. The owner who believed in the process stops saying the word process. He starts saying urgency. These are different words that mean different things, and you are fluent enough in owner speak to know exactly what the translation is. You win 6 games in year 3. You win 8 in year 4. 8 wins. In another building, with another owner, 8 wins might be progress. In this building, with this payroll, with the 2 first-round picks you moved to get the quarterback, who is good, but not good enough. 8 wins is the sound of the clock running out. You know it before the season ends. Your coordinators know it. Your wife knows it. The only people pretending otherwise are the ones who will be making the call. Chapter 6. Black Monday. The call comes the morning after the last game of the season. Not from the owner this time, from the GM, which also tells you everything you need to know before he says a single word. It is fast, professionally handled. The organization thanks you for your service, which is the sentence organizations use when they have decided you are no longer useful to them. There will be a settlement. There are logistics to discuss. Someone will be in touch about the office. You thank him. You hang up. You sit in a room that is very quiet. 22 years, graduate assistant to quality control to position coach to coordinator to head coach. You moved 11 times. You missed holidays and birthdays and school plays and the ordinary Tuesday nights that turn out, in retrospect, to be what a life is mostly made of. You gave the game everything it asked for, which was everything. And the game gave you back 4 seasons and a settlement and a very quiet room. Here is the number nobody puts on the press release. In the history of the NFL, the vast majority of head coaches end exactly here. Not with a retirement ceremony, not with a trophy, with a phone call on a Monday morning in January, and then silence. Chapter 7. What it cost. 6 months later, you take a coordinator job. Of course you do. The offer comes from a head coach you respect, a situation where you can actually help. You tell yourself this is strategic. Stay visible, stay current, wait for the right opening. This is true. It is also true that you don't know who you are without a whiteboard and a game plan, and 40 men who need you to have the answer by Thursday. Your wife unpacks the boxes again. Same efficiency. Same silence. That is not the same as no cost. You walk into the new facility on the first day. You find a meeting room. You turn on the film. The game is the same game. The film is the same film. The problems are the same problems in different uniforms. You start building the binder, 22 years in, and this is still the part that feels like home. Not the press conference, not the owner's handshake. This, a dark room, a screen, a play running on loop until you see what everyone else missed. The film runs. You press play. That is not a complaint. That is not even a warning. That is just what it looks like when something gets into your blood early enough that it stops being a choice and starts being the only thing you know how to be.